Was Monique in charge of the girls? Or was Monique in charge of the girls? Hey you guys, it's me, it's Nita, and I'm back for another Real Housewives of Potomac Season 5 Reunion Special Part 1. So let's get to it. First of all, let's start off by the fashions. Okay, going by everybody's fashion, I don't have a picture of everyone. So what I want to do is go by memory. And I'm going to say my best dressed is between Monique and Wendy. Least dressed is Ashley Darby, hands down. Robin is coming in at a scathing, like she's right there with her. But it's actually Ashley Darby. As far as hair, who pulled it off for me? I kind of didn't like Monique's bob. It was poofy or something. Something was going on with it. I think as far as hair, I would say Candice. Candice's ponytail was so pretty. Her makeup, I believe her makeup was the best. Monique coming in at a close second with makeup look. Candice, her hair and makeup was flawless. She looks great. With her being so small, I'm surprised that she's even able to hold that lash on that small body, small frame, small everything. The lash doesn't look like it's kind of flying off or whatever. She has the high cheekbones and the bronzer, and it all just looks really, really good. So, didn't care for the bow on the dress. But overall, I liked her overall look. I think she came in right in the middle, closer to my favorite looks. Ashley Darby, girl, go somewhere and sit down. So that's it for fashions and hair and makeup. Robin, what was that atrocity happening on your hair? Don't do that again. Don't do it. So anyway, they show all the ladies walking into the thing, doing the COVID precautions, the temperature to the forehead, the questionnaire. Somebody asked Candice about something, any kind of conditions. She's talking about her anxiety. I was like, but it's not COVID related. I'm like, well, bitch, shut up. She's always extra. So basically, she's making a case, like if this was a job. She's making a case for action to be taken against another employee, another colleague, by using these trigger words as in anxiety, I can't get myself together, PTSD, like this trauma from this situation at the barn. So yeah, Candice, we see you, girl. Andy's walking around to see everyone. Then, of course, Monique has the infamous binder, and we'll get to it in just a moment. The girls are all escorted onto the stage where pleasantries are given. First up, they're talking about how they've grown over the years. And if you ever seen a reunion recap, we all go through this. But each year I feel like production gets shadier and shadier over the years. So they show all of the clips. And Bravo Andy was like, wigs have been upgraded and etiquette is out of the door. And he is not lying. That etiquette thing that they used to be on in season 1, 2, I ain't like it. It always rubbed me a wrong way, and then that's when this whole fight broke out, and they was talking about we tried to keep ourselves above board and whoop-de-whoop black women image and all of that. Like, we on reality TV at the end of the day. So you catching what we giving, okay? So I don't know if Bravo Andy asked this question as far as their personal growth or their evolution of looks, like their physical appearance. All of them, no growth. The only person that I think that there's been a little bit of growth is Karen. But Karen with that goddamn lying girl, I can't take it. I can't take it. I would say she's the most improved. Yeah, I give Karen most improved. But Giselle is still a shit stir. Ashley is still the Tasmanian devil. She had that little baby, and little baby Dean calmed her down for a couple of months, and then the Tasmanian devil got the going again. She, towards the end of that season, yeah, she got up in a mess. Candace is still immature woman child. Like, even in the reunion, when Andy asked her a question talking about, did you buy a home? I'll just wait until Chris comes out. Girl, why you can't even answer your own questions? Like, people, that's why people call you so immature. Like, first it was your mom, then you was hanging on to her tit, now you hanging on to Chris' tit. Girl, the only time you have something to say is when you blowing insults to people. Like, I'm gonna need you to, girl, no, that rubbed me the wrong way. She's an immature woman child. Monique is still beautiful, still looking for validation. The only thing about Monique, she I want to say, is she playing chess? Because there's a lot, but see, what irritates me about Monique is that she always does this misplaced anger. She's always lashing out at the wrong times and the wrong places to different people. Like, girl, I'm just gonna say it. She ripped Giselle a new one in this episode. Girl, I'll get to it. Hold on. Robin is still living with her ex-husband and her kids, and Wendy still got 4 degrees. There's nothing different. There's no growth. No. They start on Giselle's fashions. And Karen was like, they talked about the fashions on her body and her interior design fashions, and Karen said that her house looked like Ronald McDonald. Now, I know they be sitting up here watching these YouTubers because, looking at Black Twitter, because everybody been talking about her house look like Ronald McDonald. So of course Karen gonna jump on there because that was a funny read too. Wendy jumps in and says, that, Giselle doesn't have to do anything. She has pretty girl syndrome, pretty privilege, whatever you want to call her. All her life, she hasn't had to do anything but show up just the way that she looks. The light, fair skin, the green eyes, closer to white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? That's the look. So you didn't have to do anything extra. Just like when we talk about colorism, how dark-skinned people have to do things 10, 12 times better than a light-skinned person. And that is just more of the same. So it was very indicative of what we want to be talking about later with colorism. And then Candace jumps in and says, I just wish you had one day with a stylist. Just one day. And I was like, okay, that was shade. She was trying to say it was fun, light shade, but it was shade nonetheless. Girl, Giselle head was on a swivel, baby, because I'm telling you, this one right here and that one right there, and everybody had their opinions on her fashions, baby, and I loved it. Girl, Giselle, your ass was in the hot seat this reunion, part 1, and I loved every bit of it because, bitch, you deserve it. Then Andy asked Giselle, did she care about, you know, what everybody's saying? She was like, no, because it's coming from Karen, and it goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I thought we were supposed to be friends, but I guess not so much, right? Okay, because you've never been friends. Then next thing you know, the next segment comes up, since we're talking about fashions, baby. Did Giselle bring that up? Giselle, I think Giselle must have brought that up with the Fendi. Karen was wearing some kind of Fendi. See, that's why I'm not a label whore, baby. And I don't care if I can afford it. I may treat myself to a bag here and there, but that's not what I'm about. If I could probably buy a designer bag, but I don't see for what. Like, giving all my money into white supremacy and they don't give me nothing. No. So I just kind of don't focus on, you know, those type of things. Like, I do have some designer things, but people make their whole life existence about, you know, designer labels, baby, and that's just not me. Then this is what I'm talking about. Karen, she is always lying. And so Andy was like, so how you gonna get yourself out of this, Karen? And so then next thing you know, she was just like, oh, I had to get it altered. And so they kind of flashed the beautiful beam footage of her outfit, and all of the indies didn't have F's on them. So I refuse to think that someone would spend thousands of dollars buying Fendi just to get it altered, to get the F taken off all the Fendis. She's so annoying in that way. Like, I just can't stand a person that's somebody that is dangerous. Somebody that can just lie on cue and just lie for no reason, girl. And you know, there are 2 reasons why people lie: out of embarrassment or out of fear. And I guess it's embarrassment, girl, but I mean, it don't make you look no better, you know, handling it the way you handle it. So I don't think that is the right way to handle it. So then Andy talks about best dressed, and because we know that Potomac Fashions is a faux pas, they cannot get it straight, and y'all from the DMV, girl, y'all got us looking bad out in these streets. Look, most people said Karen. Andy says to Monique, I thought you would have said yourself and then Karen. And Monique says, I'm not that vain. Candace said, not in public. I said, ooh, bitch, she got you right there. Because what happens with Monique is that she's so busy putting on airs, trying to be, and I think that's why she's one of the fan favorites and why people can't call her out on her bullshit or whatever. Because she tries to have this persona, and on paper it looks good, but if you read through the cracks and you just kind of look and study the behavior, she needs some work. She's not perfect, and you know, yeah, she just needs some work. And she said, I'm not that vain. Candace says, not in public, and she said that matter of factly. It was hilarious. I died. Monique did not address Candace. She's trying to remain calm. Even when Candace keeps chiming in, she kind of glances, kind of looks forward, and then just get back on track. I've been noticing that because Candace been trying. We not gonna say she ain't been trying. She been trying her hardest. Robin goes off on Karen. I believe it was about this outfit and all this other stuff. I almost forgot, y'all. Okay. Now we're trying to talk about Wendy and how Karen ended up having an issue with her. The issue came from Wendy coming on the show and not trying to be up under Karen, because Karen is the center of the show. Giselle wants to be, but Karen actually is. She said she didn't kiss Karen's ass like the other girls did. When the other girls came on, and Andy was like, you know what? Thinking back to Ashley and thinking back to Candace, everybody was talking about they look up to you as a big sister or a mama hen and all this other stuff. And Wendy was like, fuck that shit. She was like, I came and I stood firm in my shit, and I didn't come try to be up underneath you for your acceptance. And, you know, Andy actually co-signed Wendy on that. And what she did, and you know what, I never even thought about that until it was said on the reunion. I was like, you know what, they're kind of right about that. Then they talk about coffee in love. So that is Ashley Darby's music video that she made for Mr. Jim Crow. So Andy asked, how does it compare to your song? And she was like, oh, there are no comparisons. And she was like, I didn't have to have auto-tune. She was like, your vocals are trash. I was like, Candace. I said, Ashley, she got you, bitch. Oh, she was like, that's when she talking about you butting your forehead into my conversation. She was like, Andy asked me a question. She was like, but you shaded me, so I'm responding back to you. She was just like, next. And so she was like, that you asked me, Andy. He was like, I did. And then Andy, I think he tunes in and says that Candace is a disaster on Twitter. Now, this coming from your executive. You are a disaster on Twitter. Now, baby, I don't know where you think that come from, where you come from, and you may not have worked a real job, bitch. But when you hear your supervisor, your employer is saying something is a disaster, bitch, I'm gonna need you to take note. Candace was like, okay. I was like, oh, girl. Oh, and Giselle was saying that her father was exaggerating when they was going at her with the line of questioning. Giselle actually said her father was exaggerating. Bitch, you calling your father a liar? No, he's not. He is telling the absolute truth on a hot mic. He gave you the lie, talking about he supports you whatever you do, but on that hot mic, he told you how he really felt. And you know he felt like that because he didn't even say bye to your ass. He just like rolled out. And they caught that on the hot mic going out. I was like, ooh. All right. And Karen said, is Jamal here? Where's Jamal? And Monique was like, Monique said, you got a different man every season of Real Housewives of Potomac. I hope one of them actually come and sit beside you sit behind you one day. I said, ooh, girl, it was hot and heavy. It was hot and heavy. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. So Andy starts to read some questions from, God, I think it's production. They were talking about it's from people. That's production. Talking about, do y'all think colorism is a factor when we're having discussions with Candace and Wendy versus all of the other people? Wendy was like, so she pulled her chair out and she was looking straight at them and trying to see what they were going to say. And Robin was like, why are you looking at me? Why are you looking over? She was like, I'm looking at all of you. All of you. Because I need to know the answer. I said, come on, Wendy, come on. And then she broke it down talking about, using words, buzzwords, dog whistles such as aggressive, ferocious. I said, come on, Wendy, come on with the read. You better bring it. She brought it up. She laid it out there. And Andy was like, they're like buzzwords, right? She said, exactly. So he was like, so then he posed the questions to the other girls. They was like, I don't believe that. So Giselle immediately, bats the ball. I never called her aggressive. No, you ain't called her aggressive. It was that dingbat Ashley that keep calling people that act like she a fucking Karen. Girl, you just as black as the next bitch. Just because you doing a split on a white peen don't mean that you're a white woman. Girl, you're still a black woman. And your mother's still homeless. So why you sitting up there acting rich and acting all sedity and all this other stuff, girl, when you know you that one drop of black, that one black, that's you. So I don't know why she always got a reason to be trying to act like a goddamn Karen. Not Karen on this thing, but the white girl Karen that want to be calling the police on black men in the park taking pictures of the birds. Girl, yes, you act just like a privileged white woman, and I'm glad they called your ass out on it. And it's not always this. All of them. It's the Green Eye Bandits one. And at the top of the list is Ashley. Ashley, get it together, bitch. So, so this is as a whole melee. What was going on? I got all these different notes. Like, I can't even keep them. I'm just going to be all over the place, y'all. But this is when we start shifting over to Monique. So Candace, so once Ashley got into it and everybody started getting on Ashley ass, then Candace go in there, ring that bitch neck, talking about it was you and your forehead that jumped into my business. Andy just asked me a question. I just answered it. She was like this, you need to go get tested. Your husband is itching. I was yes. Oh shit. The next thing you know, they start going on Giselle again, girl. And so we got Ashley together real quick. Then they go to Every Hue Beauty. There was a question of the audience or whomever. I want to go try to buy Every Hue Beauty, but there's nothing there. What's going on with that? Setup. 4. Okay, so now Giselle's going into this whole, COVID hit, and so my manufacturer, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't get stuff up. They couldn't get the, everything to bring on the products and all of that stuff and continue to sell them, because she was in Target. That was the only store she was in, but she was in Target. Giselle was like, well, we need to know, are you able to sell the product or not? Because I called Target and they said you were liquidated. I said, oof. I don't know, okay. And so then next thing you know, she was like, I need to know if it's true. And so then she was like, it's not on the shelves anymore. I already said no. So Giselle, she done raised her voice up. I said, you talk about the Geritol activated? The Geritol done kicked in? I guess the Geritol just kicked in on your ass too. Man, then next thing you know, Monique and Karen start rag-tagging her ass. Like, you cannot let somebody see the sniff a little bit of blood, bitch. They went in. They went in. They went in. Oh my God. It was like, Tabby. I got it. Boom. Like, I mean, they was, they was on her ass. I loved every minute of it. Now that, my dear, that's what you call karma. Because she sits her ass on this show. And it's not just this year. It's every year she's on this show. And she does the same thing. And she gave Wendy the commentary. Like, this is your first reunion. She said, just bat it. And as long as it ain't about you, girl, that shit ain't worked this year, did it? It did not work this year. Oh Lord, she said Monique was like, she pulled out the receipts and she was talking about Pastor Jamal. Talking about, oh yeah. So it didn't know Karen started it off. And then as soon as Karen started off, Monique jumped in. So Karen was talking about the business is that you're not going to get every morsel of our life, and then we can't say nothing about you. So girl, she was running. She's like, and what about your relationship with Jamal? And we heard word on the curb say it was not true. And so she was just going through and doing all this, and then next thing, girl, Monique opened his number is 410 boop 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 boop. I said, and she was reading off some text messages from his Atlanta Bay. And basically, Andy was like, is that his number? And Giselle was like, yeah, that's it. Kate was like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. Robin and Candace was trying to help out when Monique brought out her receipts, and Robin jumped in and she was like this, what's your motivation behind this? Bitch, because you had it coming. And because I didn't give it to you 2 years ago, guess what, bitch? I got a whole notebook full that I'm about to serve your ass on this platter cold. So, honey, Monique did not have any problem going after that ass. When I tell you Giselle mouth was stuck on, I mean, she had the dumb look. Like, I'm telling you, she was looking molded like I don't know what. Ooh, they tag team her ass. Oh my God. Oh my God, that shit was so funny. And the mic drop is when she said, oh yeah, you want to call my husband big boy? You always want to call my husband big boy? Past the holy whore? I said, bitch, I almost fell out my So Karen had her foot on the neck. Monique said, bitch, let me get a little bit of that. And then next thing you know, they just took her wig, took her all the way down, dragged her ass all the way down in the gutter board. I tell you. Giselle was trying to say face baby, but guess what? It was not happening on part one. Now we'll see about part two, baby. We'll see about part two, but part one, baby, gave me all the life I wanted. I just wish Monique really comes for the girls when she needs to come for them. Like, all that holding out and all that not addressing things and holding things in. Because she's one of those mental Rolodex. I'll store it in here. But no, when you start operating in mental Rolodexing and compartmentalizing people and things and issues, you have to if you're not going to let them go, then you need to speak it. You need to speak whatever grievance says against you, whatever. Because Monique coming out with that bazooka gun today, baby, she should have been gave it to Giselle. But I guess the tea was just too good. It was just too hot. We had to get it just right for the right time. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that's what that was. But anyway, So, sorry, I used to do my embezzle hat, but it was the reunion. I'm giving, we got the newspaper, we're reading, darling, and I'm giving you a reunion look. So I wanted to come a little bit more glam. I gave y'all almost the whole season in the embezzle cap, but I'm here, and this is my review over Real Housewives of Potomac season 5 reunion special part 1. There are 2 more to go, and baby, Monique had a tab for every one of them bitches. So hello, I can't wait to see it. See you next week. Bye.